Hey, what's going on, y'all? We're doing Elvis's header swap on his GT350. He's got some Dynatech headers, as you can see. Yeah, Dynatech. I guess that's also the cat delete that we're gonna slap on. In terms of progress, Elvis took off the intake box to get some space to the headers. I've taken off 5 of the bolts from the top. Elvis took off 1 bolt with the stud on the bottom, and then I got to work on the last 2. So just as reference, these 2 and these 3, so these 5 total, I was actually able to get it from the top. And then those 2, along with this bottom one right there, Elvis says it's easier to get it from the bottom. I was able to break it loose from the top, so I mean, I've got really small hands. And using this ratchet that has a flex head was the easiest. Of course, deep socket with the stud, 6-point, so able to break all of it loose. So I'm gonna try to get that. I think the passenger side is gonna be a little more tough. It's a lot more cramped. All right, so the next thing is we're gonna remove the engine bracket. This is the setup I have. I've already loosened it. Elvis is working on removing the cats, right?
Slip joint.
Or the slip joint. We also have to remove the steering column to get some clearance to remove the headers. So that's the plan at the moment. All right, so Elvis just marked the steering column. He's gonna loosen that bolt right there and take it off from the shaft at that point. All right, so we're actually gonna try to cheat and try to remove the headers without taking off the motor mount.
I can do it.
So what we did was we removed 2 of the studs. It's the 2 center upper ones. I'll show you in a little bit once he's able to fit it out. Elvis is confident he can squeeze it out.
Yeah, let me move my brace first.
So okay, so he's gonna take off some other stuff on underneath. All right, so he removed one of the braces underneath. And Elvis, can you rotate it? Let's see, for you, rotate it counterclockwise.
Hold on.
Oh, you can't, huh? Oh, it's so close. Is the cat still attached?
Yes.
Oh, if you removed the cat, it would have been easier. Could have had more room to rotate. All right, go ahead, Elvis. Yeah, so as soon as he pulled off the cat, he had enough room and orientation to remove it. So, kind of cheated our way out. We'll see if it'll bite us in the butt when we install the new headers.
Success.
Got the header out. It's only one side. All right, so comparing the stock GT350 header, you can kind of see the design is a 4-2-1 flow merge versus the Dynatech, which is a 4-1. I'll measure out the OD of the piping for the primaries to kind of get a good comparison. Oh, and then it does look like we're gonna have to relocate some of the studs to make it work on the engine. So you can kind of see the center 2, the bottom and top, and then you've got 1 on top there and 2 on the bottom towards the center. So those will definitely have to be relocated. And it looks like that it's gonna have to be relocated. Yeah.
Not off yet.
All right.
This one's easy to pick
So
up.
he's holding up the engine via the transmission side. Elvis
Let's see.
is doing
I don't know if
the
you can take this. This one
engine
might
mount.
be too long.
It's gotten 3 out of the 4 bolts from the ground and the 4th one from the top.
So
So we did end up taking the steering column off just because we're gonna have to jack the engine up. For the passenger side, Neil is trying to get to the engine mount on the passenger side at the moment. Yeah, Elvis has the starter taken off already. Okay, so we ran into some issues trying to get the passenger side motor mount out. Of course, saw this. This was one of the engine hoist mounts that we borrowed from Neil. And then Neil suggested strapping one of the bolts. You can barely see it. I guess there's a mount towards the back. So we have the engine supported. And then to get the engine some height, there's a lot of people down here, took out the transmission mount bolts to give it some play, and that gave enough room for the engine front side to come up. And then Neil took out the engine mount. So currently Neil's got more room to get to the studs or the nuts on the header. So that's the current progress on the passenger side. Yeah, so I was able to get 2 of the top nuts loose, but the angle made it really hard to ratchet to loosen it. You need anything from me, Neil?
No, you good. You talking about me taking the transmission out.
And the transmission mount is still on there. I mean, you loosen the
You
bolts.
said I loosened the bolts and took that exhaust out.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I got the motor up. That's the secret sauce.
All right, so we're still struggling with the passenger side, and pretty much after taking off the motor mount bracket, all the nuts were accessed from the bottom, and we're having the most trouble with, I guess, like the last one in the corner. So this is the setup, pretty much using a medium size socket, not a super deep. I mean, I forget, I can show you the size of it, but having that with the flex head ratchet, we were able to access that one. So yeah, these were definitely tricky to get to. Okay, so we're still working on that last stud. The previous method with the socket eventually didn't work. I guess we ran into some clearance issues with the length of the socket and the ratchet hitting the AC line. So we're actually able to gain access using a wrench. The 12 point helps a lot more since we actually have to flip it back and forth to be able to get enough turn. So we're actually making some good progress using it this method and almost have it out currently. All right, so he's got it out. That was a pain. All right, so comparing the passenger side header to the driver's side, it's interesting to see that the driver's side has the flattened portion on the header for clearance, while the passenger side doesn't. And this is just a comparison of the aftermarket one. And of course, stud locations are different, so Elvis is gonna have to do some relocation. So he also said that, I guess with this kit, we're gonna use bolts as opposed to studs and nuts. So that would definitely help also. But both are out. And then I think we're gonna move over the sensors. Then I guess reposition the engine mount, kind of put it in together. All right, so we removed all the studs. Elvis is trying to put the header back up. I can't see anything, Elvis. Okay. So we got the header in. Elvis chose to use all bolts instead of studs. So what we did was we had all the top bolts in, and this particular header has a slotted, I guess like slotted flange, hole flange. So it was easy for us to slide it in. Then he went ahead and slid the motor mount, fairly easy. So next thing would be to put the starter in this position and then tighten everything up. We gotta put the steering link in. Of course, gotta hoist up the engine, gotta realign the transmission mount brackets. So moving along pretty well. All right, so motor mounts are bolted up and tighten. As I mentioned earlier, you can pretty much access all the bolts on the driver's side motor mount here from the bottom, you know, when you're trying to remove or put it up to tighten everything. It was the same for the passenger side. Everything was, you know, easily accessed from the bottom. So Elvis is trying to torque everything down now. He's missing the starter. That's the next thing. Of course, you know, we'll put back the steering column, and that should be pretty much it for the header side. He's got the rest of the exhaust he's got to put on, but that's another issue that he's gonna have to deal with. All right, so apparently the X pipe that comes with the headers, that bolts through the headers here, is too long to work with his current exhaust setup. So I think for the time being, he's probably just gonna run open headers or X pipe, whatever term it's called, and then he's probably gonna take it to an exhaust shop to have them just connect the rest of the exhaust together. Alright, so Elvis is putting on the donut gaskets. Then we'll slap on the X pipe, and then I will show you why he's having some exhaust issues after this. Alright, so Elvis has the starter in. The two bolts here and the one back there are pretty easy to get. There is another one that it's around the back. It's really tough to get, but I was able to do it by putting my hand here and then using a ratcheting short wrench. And then that was the only thing that Elvis did. So this is the, you know, the upstream, the wideband. So originally it wasn't long enough, so he had to, where's the wire? Did you already tuck it? Oh no, sorry. Well, that is the wideband, but this one's easier to see. So this side, this is wideband, the brown. This black one here is the extension harness, and you can see where it connects to the OEM, because originally it wasn't long enough. So we're gonna do our first startup now to make sure everything is good. So let's hear it. Oh, he's gonna be running, oops, sorry. I guess open pipes, because it's not reaching. We're trying to figure out a solution at the moment, but we're gonna start it and check for leaks. All right, so Elvis has the starter in. The two bolts here and the one back there are pretty easy to get. There is another one that it's around the back. It's really tough to get, but I was able to do it by putting my hand here and then using a ratcheting short wrench. And then that was the only thing that Elvis did. Oh, so this is the, you know, the upstream, the wideband. So originally it wasn't long enough, so he had to, where's the wire? Did you already tuck it? Oh no, sorry. Well, that is the wideband, but this one's easier to see. So this side, this is wideband, the brown. This black one here is the extension harness, and you can see where it connects to the OEM, because originally it wasn't long enough. So we're gonna do our first startup now to make sure everything is good. So let's hear it. Oh, he's gonna be running, oops, sorry. I guess open pipes, because it's not reaching. We're trying to figure out a solution at the moment, but we're gonna start it and check for leaks. All right, so my brother forgot to plug in the math, so that's why I was running so rough earlier. So, I'm gonna try this again. That's a lot smoother.